matchup against Zhao in the Pango, he actually has heroes that he could blow up with his Lina, whereas that Void Spirit game, it felt like everything was too difficult to kill. He needed Sanj Kaya and Aghanim Scepter before he could even think about going for those supports. And even then, it's Omni Knight Wyvern, which you pointed out in game one. They cover each other really nicely. So I think this time around, Toronto Tokyo can get some real headway for his team. And I think that'll allow Team Spirit to be able to snowball. Because Team Spirit is good at being able to play timings. And they just honestly didn't have a timing last game.
Right. This time around, LGD are running a definitely less tanky lineup. I guess Pangolier is kind of deceptive sometimes with Shield Crash. He can be really tanky in the right situation. Their supports being Clockwork and Aya, I would say, is less defensive than Omni Knight Wyvern were. And their safe laner is not a Sven, but a Luna. So definitely easier to chew through for Team Spirit's heroes here. And I also think Team Spirit in this game, they just have more burst, right? They have more damage. There's a Lion and a Lina, a Terrorblade with massive output. You have Rupture against Pango and Darkseer, and even Phoenix with percentage-based damage. So I agree. I like it more as well, what Spirit are bringing to the table here. And I think it's just important that they're not too crippled after the last game and are in like a good mental state and just play their lanes and realize, okay, you know what? It was a one-off, really bad game from us. We're going to have a better time this time.
Another thing is I wouldn't necessarily say Collapse is like a excellent Bloodseeker player, but do you remember that period of time where everybody was playing Bloodseeker off lane about 6 months ago? Yeah, Team Spirit was doing that quite a lot. They probably played a handful of games. I think it was the first season of the DPC, and they would just spam off lane Bloodseeker. Do you think this hero is, because it got some slight changes, they could do a decent amount of damage to Ame, nothing major here. Do you think this hero is where do you think it belongs? Do you think it's an offlaner? Do you think it's a carry? Do you think it's good at all?
I think more than anything, the most important thing for Bloodseeker is having good matchups. I think he's not really worthy of a pick unless there's a specifically really good reason. Oh, Faith Beyond might actually die bottom here. Yatoro and Miposhka, they're going to surround him. First Blood going the way of Terrorblade. You love to see that if you're a Spirit fan. Getting Yatoro off to a good start has led to many a win. So very nice. Yeah, about Bloodseeker, I think he can play multiple roles. I honestly think he can, in theory, play almost any role as long as Rupture and Bloodright are good enough and you have synergies that set him up. And in this game, the matchups are good, right? They specifically target the Pango with it, and they lane it with a stun that's very reliable in the Earth Spike so that you can connect Bloodrights. I think he's solid. I don't know. We've seen some mixed success from carry Bloodseekers. I think they have more boxes they need ticked. Like, you need a good carry matchup, and you need teammates that deal damage, so Thirst activates early in fights. He's very good together with, like, Earth Spirit or Venomancer, heroes that deal a lot of spread damage. Innocence is going to die, too, here. If he's not careful, one more hit, 2 more hits would do it. He's going to be okay.
Well, at the bare minimum, he gets that Thirst going for Collapse, so he feels a little bit better about his lane. As long as Miposhka doesn't die, but the vacuum picked up by Faith Beyond at level 2, he decides no need for Surge in this lane. And I feel like that's also a change that, speaking of another offlaner, the Darkseer, ever since they made Vacuum worthwhile leveling up early on in lane, the offensive capabilities of these Darkseers, I feel like the hero is just so much better than it was a year ago, let's say, where it was just literally Ion Shell and hope you get CS, hope the enemy carry doesn't deny every single creep.
Right, and it also just felt like Vacuum was so bad level 1 that it wasn't even really a skill point, right? That's also just weird design to have a skill point that does almost nothing because it's that bad and that long cooldown and it had no damage. Like, so there's a lot of things that made this hero better. That's definitely one of them. I can't remember what the cast range used to be. I'm going to say something like 200 on level 1. It was like atrocious.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And you literally only leveled it to get higher level. So usually Darkseers would go sometimes 044 and sometimes they would go 042 and then start leveling Vacuum, and it was just this game of, oh, how fast can I finally get to level 3 or 4 Vacuum so it does something. So yeah, it's one of the changes of Darkseer that I really celebrate because it makes the hero more interesting and diverse. The old one was very, very one-dimensional. And also the wall changes over time have also, made a difference with it having like a slow and
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Kind of expected. Toronto Tokyo is winning out on the mid lane, but not by a ton. CS is a little deceptive right now. Net worth, they're actually pretty even.
It's actually the lane that are winning the least, which is very surprising.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be the biggest win for them, Lina against Pango, but the top lane especially is doing really, really great. The Lion Bloodseeker, they're going to pressure here again, as Clock is on Miposhka, needs to time the dive, does it well. You can get broken between battery assault charges if you don't use it at the perfect time. Your animation could get cancelled and he would be stuck and die there. But Miposhka knows that timing and gets out. But yeah, top lane for Team Spirit, really good. Oh, they failed a pull. That is a bit of a blunder, actually, at this level. They had a triple camp that they were pulling to the left, and they did it too early, and the camp actually left. That is gonna... That would have been huge for them, because pulling this camp at that point in time with how strong they are, LGD might have struggled to come out and contest it against Bloodseeker Lion at that point.
Especially since it's a triple camp, and the creep wave would die so quickly that it would be a very limited amount of time for
And
Ame
now they're
to get
trying
there
it again,
and get the
but
CS.
now the conditions are different because now the waves are meeting. So this time it's not even going to happen. They're going to shut it down in its tracks here. Nice blood right though. This is good damage. Hex.
Yeah, they're doing a lot. Ame, he actually gets off the Fairy Fire. He does have a stick as well. Jin Q doesn't have any burst heal on him, and they're just going to keep on running at him. They have another Blood Right. They're going to land this one. Ame, he is just dead to the pure damage of the Blood Right collapse. Continue. It feels like maybe off-lane Bloodseeker, at least for Team Spirit anyway. It seems to be back.
It's doing great. I also just think this is such an awesome laning partner. Lion is so good to lane with. You have 2 stuns between the Earth Spike and Hex. Oh, actually Xin Q might just get dove here as well. He has sticks. It's going to be okay. And now Collapse could be in trouble. And Mira could be in trouble. Everyone gets some trouble.
They're all a little low now as Ame is the only full health, full mana one of the crew. But as long as Collapse can land some last hits, he'll get back up to full pretty quickly. Why? Taking a bit of damage. Needs a surge from Faith Beyond in order to get out. That Terrorblade, he's pretty happy with his lane so far, it seems.
I wonder when Xiao8 gets involved. So he obviously loves playing Pangolier, and this is the kind of game where I think he's actually very integral to the team in making even the more basic moves. The only hero who's really going to do anything aside from him is Clockwork. Your 5 is an IO.
Oh, they managed to catch Toro. Look at this. The vacuum back in. They have the damage to be able to kill potentially both of them. Unfortunately, Faith Beyond dies underneath the tower before he could chase down Miposhka. But still, trading themselves out for a carry that was pretty happy with his lane. Well worth the back over to the top lane, though. Ame getting low. They do manage to get the kill onto Mira first. Collapse is on his way. The Blood Right is going to be a little off the mark. Ame is fast enough to get out of that one. A rotation that fails for Team Spirit. The first step out from Toronto Tokyo.
Miposhka's going to
not going high.
Very nicely done. He's going to get level 5 there on the Phoenix. Yeah, that one feels bad for Toronto Tokyo. Not only did you rotate and fail, but you blew so much mana into the void, right, to not get a kill. So all these resources that he would usually use now to farm and to push out mid are lacking, and he needs to buy a couple of clarities to compensate. It's going to delay his boots of travel even further.
Did they get the stack?
I didn't notice, actually. I think LGD got
I'm gonna
most
assume
of what they
Spirit
wanted.
did. Oh, really?
You mean the hard camp?
at...
The hard camp. Yeah, I guess they did get that with the Lina. So that does...
Yeah.
That would help. That's like a bit of a Band-Aid, at least.
Yeah. Something small, but definitely not fully what they wanted out of the situation. Xiao8, he's yet to move around. He's just content with farming away Utoros. At that point, Terrorblade, okay, he died once in lane. It's time to just go jungle. And Y is going to be watching him do so, and they're going to go for this kill. They do have Xiao8 coming in, and he could jump inside if he wants to. Doesn't actually jump in, Rolling Thunder from a distance, and a vacuum in order to stop that Sunder. And he had actually leveled just in that occasion to be like, okay, I could do this. No, denied by Faith Beyond.
Yeah, nice vacuum. I think he would have got it off there on Clockwork, actually. The cast point of Sunder is low enough that it's very easy to land between battery assault stuns, so would have been able to get it. I honestly think it would have died anyway because Xiao8 was part of that play, but why bother? Just get it done, move on with your life, and Xiao8's back to mid.
I like that. Move on with your life.
Ame's in trouble. No relocate.
Yeah, and they've got plenty of burst damage. Even if Lion isn't level 6, they have the Laguna Blade. Something that they're going to have to worry about later on for LGD is just the pure burst damage. I mean, if this was the old IO, the 723 IO that used to have damage reduction off of overcharge, then maybe you'd be able to deal with that a bit better. But this IO, getting Laguna Bladed and Finger of Death, it may just be a fast kill onto a Luna every team fight.
Absolutely. They just have so much burst, right? Lion, Lina plus Bloodseeker. Even though it doesn't sound like much, the Rupture change that made it deal 10% damage of the target's health, also, it makes a difference in these kills when he casts it right away. It's just often that little extra bit that you're missing against IO, and then the relocate comes out. Not going to be a problem here if they burst their spells fast enough. Going to see a tier 1 tower trade. Team Spirit were maybe contemplating defending here, but not going to happen. Tower goes to Faith Beyond. And something that FA pointed out last game that I thought was a really good point was when they played this Clink Sven, their safe lane was so strong between the Omni and Sven that Ame could just stay up there seemingly forever, and that allowed Faith or Xiaowei to also farm the triangle. In this game, they've been shut down in lane, and therefore Ame now needs to play this triangle. So there's simply less farm being obtained on the map at this point. IO is going to like leech a little bit up top, but it's never going to compare to a Sven Omni farming the lane as well as 2 jungle camps while Clinks farms the other 3. So don't foresee LGD pulling some sort of a massive advantage like last game. This is going to be much more of a level playing field when we approach the mid game. And right now, even a slight lead for Team Spirit.
Draft and laning phase, I mean, they're up top 3 net worth right now on the side of Team Spirit. It feels like everything is a lot better for Team Spirit. And I love what Collapse has been doing. He's just been farming this hard camp, medium camp, pulling it together over and over again with Bloodright. And then occasionally he'll pop up, catch the wave at top. Like he's doing this very efficiently, and it looks like he's going to be going the Rod of Atos maybe for a Spirit Vessel, which would be nice to have against a IO for sure.
I wonder why he wants the Atos first. If it's just, okay, I need more utility to set up my Terrorblade to deal damage and to protect Phoenix Egg, or even set it up to begin with. Catch against the IO combinations, whatever it is. Definitely a good item for his lineup to play with. It allows him to make Lina and Lion connect. Oh, speaking of Lina, some good footwork here from Toronto Tokyo. Will get connected on that time, though, and that's a relocate.
He's going to turn around, does manage to land the LSA perfectly. Zhao Wade is going to hit him with a shield crash to slow him down just that little extra bit. And Ame, if he can get the range for it, the Lucent Beam is ready to go. Oh, Toronto Tokyo, in an attempt to try and maybe juke out the Swashbuckle, ends up slowing down his retreat long enough. The Lucent Beam does land.
Yeah, loving the patience from Xiaowei there. I think a lot of players go for that Swashbuckle with the risk of missing in the trees, and who knows, maybe Lina somehow finds a miraculous escape. Just holding it there ensures the kill. He knows Luna's going to make it there in time and cover the angle. So, Team Spirit, in the meantime, don't just sit around and watch their Lina die. They're actually taking mid-tier 1 with their Lion. He's going to get denied by Xinkyu. There's the... Oh, that hurts when you rupture it. Yikes.
Maybe you can make that play a little bit later on if you've got a blade mail, but as it stands, it just sets up Mira for the first Finger of Death kill of the game.
He has to go for it, though. If he gets it off before he gets ruptured, maybe he lives, but the Atos more than enough time for Collapse to connect all this stuff. And yeah, it's not even necessarily going to be the Vessel next. He is eyeing up a Hood, so maybe thinking he needs to play more of a frontliner role for the team. I honestly like that approach better, now that I think about it, than finishing the Vessel. Yeah, it's good against IO, but what the team really needs is somebody who just goes in, tanks damage, and allows Lion, Lina, and Terrorblade to have a free fight. And if he has a Hood and maybe a mobility item, he could be that guy.
It is the way they played it against SG. Is he picked up the Hood, went Spirit Vessel, and then he went Ags and Lotus Orb. It was very much like a full-on statty sort of frontliner kind of build. So
I like that idea here as well. It's good.
Yeah. The only swerve is just that Rod of Atos, which we'll see how impactful it is. It's already managed to get the kill onto the clockwork, and now maybe Zhao Wade is going to be caught inside of it as well, set up for a free pickup on Toronto Tokyo. Faith Beyond coming in from the other side. They do have Y with the hook shot, but there's still some heroes around here, especially with the Bloodright getting off. Collapse may die, but it's certainly going to cost Faith Beyond his life, and maybe a little bit more. Y getting back to the safety of Ame and Xinkyu.
Yeah, really good reaction there from Team Spirit. I think Faith Beyond a little bit of a misstep there going into the cogs, just setting up the double LSA. Could have probably settled for, oh, why are you there? Is the question.
That's a good question.
All right.
Sometimes you're just gifted some freebies.
Looking good for Spirit here.
How do you view the Luna versus Terrorblade matchup? Because Terrorblade, he's free farming. They've got a 3,000 net worth lead right now, so we're going to watch Y die again.
Did we need to see that again?
What is the timing?
Salt in the wound.
Yeah, geez, somebody in production doesn't like wine too much. The what do you do as a Luna versus Terrorblade? Because obviously you're countered in that 1-to-1 matchup. So what is the timing you're looking for LGD?
So what some players have done in the past is they've gone Ags as like a secondary, somewhat early item so that you can play the magic damage into Terrorblade. If he BKBs, at least you kill his illusions, which is a huge damage mitigation. And if you catch him in a stun, you can burst him and ignore the armor. I think in this game what Am is going to do is he's currently eyeing up the Chrysalis. I think he's going to go full physical and rely on IO to offset the difference. Just having that bonus could swing that matchup just enough that he can take the fight, especially once he gets Satanic. I still don't think his plan is going to be, all right, I'm just going to fight Terrorblade head-on, but more than likely, I'll hit whatever I can and just stay alive while I do it. That's probably the way to go here. Bottom lane. They're going to find Phoenix.
With the Blink Dagger and the wall there, they're going to be able to bounce off of it and keep Miposhka chain stunned.
Miposhka has a full force staff now if he wants to buy it. He's currently hovering the amount of gold it costs without buying it out. Oh, Xiao 8. Yep, getting ruptured is no fun, really. Oh, there's another stack.
It really did seem like, you know, they're like, all right, we're going to leave him the Pango, and we've got the hard counter ready to go with this offlane Bloodseeker that has already managed to win once for us. So let's just go ahead and try it again.
Interesting approach here from Xiao 8. He's queuing up the Yules. I think what a lot of Pangoliers do in this position is they buy Lincolns against the Bloodseeker specifically. But Xiao 8's idea here is he's going to do whatever he can to stay alive as long as possible. Even if he gets ruptured, at the very least he can stop his roll, cast a Swashbuckle. If he still gets focused, he can do some Yule shenanigans to buy time, maybe get a second shield crash off and tank, and give his team the momentum to go in. I think both approaches are good. I just wonder why he is specifically not going Lincolns. If it's just cost efficiency, it's a big item. There's a lot of farm on the map that both his Luna and Darkseer need. So maybe he's just valuing that as the cheaper option.
I think that Yules and Lotus were, you know, like, but Lincolns, you know, those are potential answers. But I think that if he does not hold the money for the Shard, I think it's a big mistake. I think the Shard is the mega counter to Bloodseeker, right? Because you can stop your own roll and you can counter Bloodright. Pull back in, nice vacuum there with the wall, but at the same time, they are going to be able to chain up Yutoro, so Team Spirit going to lose on that left-hand side, but at the same time, Toronto Tokyo is now back into play. Relocate out just in time before they... Oh, no, he didn't relocate very far. He relocated just a half step upwards and Collapse is ready to collect as they are going to swarm on in and make up for the loss of Yutoro in great, fantastic ways. That's going to be 4 kills for Team Spirit, a triple specifically for Toronto Tokyo. He is feeling good after what was a rough game 1.
And if we get a replay of that, you're going to see exactly what goes wrong. This play from LGD is actually very good, but Xiao 8 doesn't find the correct bounce on the wall, and that ends up not leading to a chain stun on Terrorblade. He's going to Manta off and use that Sunder. I don't think anything's going to happen here. Faith Beyond running away, but yeah. If that Sunder doesn't go off in this fight, LGD just get the Terrorblade for free, and then the follow-up fight might not look as bad, but they get forced to commit so many resources and time that the reinforcements arrive, and you're going to see it happen right here. So there's the Pango roll, gets the connection, but doesn't clip off the edge there of the stone wall. And then when he finally returns back, look at how much damage the Luna is taking. They're healing so damn much with the IO, but it just becomes too much, and he's ruptured. And like you said, a relocate to Fountain there definitely would have been better, but you can understand from LGD's perspective why they thought they could still possibly take that fight afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking at, we killed their carry. Like, you know, this is feeling good. Unfortunately, Toronto Tokyo is so strong right now.
Yeah.
And another bonus for Team Spirit is it's going to scale really well, too. Toronto Tokyo has BKB, and he's got the Crystallis. We're going to see the right-click damage build coming out of the Lina, which means both the Terrorblade and the Lina are going to be able to have the range advantage on the Luna, and they may potentially have just the straight-up physical damage advantage over the Luna as well. So
Right. Something Luna does have as a carry against this, Luna has very good armor, and her agility gain is great at 3.4. So if both heroes go right-click builds on Terrorblade and Lina, and you also have the IO protecting you and you get the Satanic, honestly, in BKB, you might be able to power through it for the duration of your Satanic. After that, you're toast. But those few seconds can make a huge difference in allowing the Darkseers to get a vacuum wall off, or at very least a wall on the Terrorblade, and perhaps for the Pango to connect some good chain stuns on Terrorblade illusions, and maybe then you can survive even longer. So definitely...
In which case, it's all important for Luna to keep this net worth high, which she's doing, like, still 1,000 net worth ahead of the Terrorblade plus that. So Ame is farming really well.
It also means it's important to use the Mask of Madness carefully, right? But he is going to split this into Satanic, you would imagine, right? Eventually, that is going to be the route. He's going to take Satanic Butter instead of this Mom. But for now, obviously needs to wait on the BKB. Almost completing at bottom here. There's rotation coming in from PSG.LGD. They're trying to find Miposhka. He has sidestepped to the left, though, and should be getting out. No, he's showing... Xiao is very far away. Oh, he dove into it.
That also wasn't the dive that Miposhka wanted. He does manage to get off the egg, but it's level 1, so it's quickly dispatched with cooked up. At the same time, though, Team Spirit are taking advantage. All those heroes just showed bottom lane. Let's try and do a fast Roshan. LGD, well aware of that, but maybe too slow to get there as the physical damage of Terrorblade knocks Roshan down pretty quickly. Faith Beyond, one last chance to get there, but is denied by Mira. No chance. Is making sure to block hooks just in case, even if it was up. They're still going to try and go for the fight afterwards. They've taken down the Aegis. The Sunder going off. Xiao Wei does have the Rupture on him as well, and they're going to relocate into the triangle, cutting off any retreat. At the same time, Toronto Tokyo TP away with a BKB. Just not good enough. A Crystallis hit, rather, from Ame is enough to kill the Lina just in time.
Honestly, masterclass from LGD in that situation. It is so hard. Oh, hang on. He might live.
No. The last shot, it's not good enough. Oh, okay. Double kill for Ame.
So what makes this Roshan play so impressive from LGD, as I will never get a chance to talk about it. We're going to go mid, collapse,
no, sorry, Synderen, you shut up, Synderen, shut up. It's time for a team fight.
I guess so. There's the trade. All right, Faith Beyond's running away. Okay, so here's what makes it so impressive. Right, you're pushing bottom tier 2 with your IO Luna. You know you have relocate. So you make 2 plays at once. You know Spirit are committed in this pit, so you keep IO Luna bot and you run across. But honestly, the most standout play there is Faith Beyond running into the river alone. In so many situations, that's going to look like suicide, but the way that sets up his team to come for the return, or the connection here is really big, right? So they know Toronto Tokyo is low. He gets the wall on the Terrorblade illusion, puts it on Lina here, gets the kill. Xiao Wei comes in, takes a lot of damage, but again, you're setting all of this up for that relocate to come in and actually get Toronto Tokyo. So yeah, they got Roche, but they lost Aegis and they lost Lina twice. Ultimately, they also lost the bottom tier 2 tower. So in this situation, LGD managed to actually open up an outpost for themselves while they were getting roached. So really, really impressive stuff there. Best play of the game.
Yeah, it felt like that was just going to be a freebie for Team Spirit. LGD, excellent job of being able to strike back, keeping Team Spirit from running away with this game, honestly. It's only a 2,000 net worth lead for them now.
They were up 6 before that roche.
Yeah. They hit their 20-minute timing as well. So they've got the Shard on Luna with this whole Crystallis build that everyone's going with the Lucent Beam, and then they also now have the Shard on Pango as well. So their teamfight upgrades are significant after this.
Yeah. And he's still going to go for the Yules. He didn't change his mind. And actually already queuing up at Basher as his next idea, a way of giving Luna more time in the fights. Proccing at Bash on the Lina or Terrorblade can prevent a Sunder or Laguna Blade from coming out, or just in general keep them in place so Luna gets to hit. And they are going to make a smoke move here, knowing that there's no Aegis in play. Any opening here for LGD could be big and ultimately lead to top towers. They're not going to find anything. Team Spirit, a good split here at the top half. They have the vision advantage up there as well. It might be a lion getting caught out here in just a sec by Pango. Xiaoit's going to see him. Back into nothing.
They managed to spot him, get the Lucent Beam on him before he can complete that TP. Back over to Mira, who does manage to get away.
Man.
What's next for Team Spirit? Like, are you just down to just like kind of chill and let LGD try and be aggressive?
I mean, looking at the game state right now, I think both teams are competitive in team fights. The question is if Spirit feels it, right? From our perspective with what we see and what we know, there's a decent chance. But it is so all important that if Team Spirit make the move, they absolutely have to get the jump with the Bloodseeker getting a good rupture on Pango. I think if they don't find him, anyone they go on, the response is just overwhelming. It's a clockwork hookshot, it's a vacuum combo, and it's the Pango. And here it is. They're going to open him. No rupture, though. Bloodseeker's in base.
Hook shot, a beautiful combo coming out. Yatoro's going to turn around and kill Y, but it saves Zhao Wei, certainly. And now Ame and Jin Q are here up on the high ground. They're going to actually turn for this. The Sunder going out immediately, an eclipse from Ame as he was scared for his life for a second. He actually choosing to go back in. Mira sees his opportunity to be able to get potentially the chain burst. Jin Q trying to keep him alive, but it's not quite good enough. Jin Q caught by the Rod of Atos as well. Collapse even throwing the Faye grenade to try and stop Faith Beyond from blinking away. Once again, I thought LGD was about to showcase a really sick team fight, but this time around weren't able to get there fast enough.
They seemed like they weren't fully on the same page. So Xiaoit gets bailed out by the clockwork, which means you're one man down. And then Ame turns with the IO to stay and fight there, but Pango never reconnected with the Rolling Thunder. So you're going to see it here, right? They get this opening, and this is what you really want. If you're Spirit, you want to catch the Pango. Bloodseeker isn't there, so Xiaoit gets to reset and run away. This is where, if the Luna wants to fight here, you have to roll up as soon as you have... Oh, he doesn't have it. Wait, when does he have it? Oh, that is just not good communication then. I think that fight doesn't exist without Pango ult. And he's in trouble.
Pops a shard, hoping to be... Oh, no. That happens sometimes. Sometimes you accidentally double tap your Rolling Thunder. Canceled it himself, sadly. And free pick off on a Pango, which they were looking for originally on the side of Team Spirit. And we are getting dangerously... I don't know how you feel about it, Synderen, but for me anyway, at my level of pubs, I just hate Terrorblade right now. And that timing of Scotty is so terrifying. Yeah. You're a bit higher than me. Is it the same threat?
Oh, hang on. Hex reflected. Atos reflected. Are they going to reflect any damage? No, it seems like it. That is not the case. It's just going to die. Yeah, this Terrorblade timing is scary, but I still think inherently the best chance that LGD have comes from the Darkseer and the Pango. Every time Terrorblade gets stronger, as long as you find the wall and you get a bit of roll on the Terrorblade. It doesn't even need to be full duration, but just a couple of stuns with the roll-up, killing off or significantly lowering the impact of the illusions. I think LGD have the solutions to Terrorblade the entire game. I don't think he reaches overwhelming point here. Nope. Let's see.
Dear. He should be able to still kill him.
Yeah,
turned around, goes for the vacuum. Toro is definitely dead, though.
Oh! No way! No way! Oh my goodness.
That was insane. And now, I mean, they were hoping to be able to get the kill on a Terrorblade, but the potential of losing a fight as well. Okay, never mind. BKB, Toronto Tokyo is going to TP out as soon as they see all that heal. Why? Just shy of being able to catch at least Mira there. That was not the way things were supposed to go for LGD.
That was a combination of brilliance and fail at the same time, right? So the swashbuckle, I think, missed from Xiao8. You're going to see it here. So I love the way they set this up. They swashbuckle in. He gets a pretty weak Sunder, to be honest, but he kind of has to use it there. Stun. He gets knocked up on the high ground. And this is where swashbuckle kills him, but he misses it. Then the Manta comes out, and his team is covering him on the right, so Io can't chase here. And they actually get the Atora out of that. That is a really huge difference. Because this would have been huge for LGD. They would have killed Bloodseeker as well as him, and maybe even been able to snowball the fight after that a bit more with confidence, but they have to back out. Faith Beyond died on the other side of the map, by the way. That was off camera, but he got ganked.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I was calling at the start of the fight. I saw Faith Beyond get picked there for a moment. And yeah, that was just like a smoke. Team Spirit were connecting to the Yotaro, but LGD was basically faster, right?
5K. Oh, they're going to try again.
Got the Scotty now. Oh, Xiaowei turns around. Does manage. They have to keep him chain stunned here. They can't afford to let him get off the Manta or the Sunder. The potential for Steph, and he gets off the Sunder. Can he stay alive through this? Toronto Tokyo's going to try and help. Looks like the Luna's damage is too much, but similarly, Toronto Tokyo's damage is too much for Ame. Xiaowei is going to fall inside of that Blood Right. Collapse finds an extra kill. Yep, he gets it. Sees the vision of Y and allows Miro to be able to follow it. This, again, Yotaro, I'd say LGD, like, so close to being able to kill him time and time again, but Yotaro very sick with these Hurricane Pike forces.
Toronto Tokyo did
getting himself.
He did 7K damage there. I don't know if you saw the damage breakdown of that, but he hurt so badly in that fight. Just gets free reign, just punching away. 14-2 right now on this mid lane, really carrying his team in this game. And yeah, for LGD again, unfortunately this time Xiaowei doesn't really have a good way of bouncing. On his, he uses the roll up for the double stun, so he gets the initial connection, roll up here. Unfortunately, they layer it a little bit there with the hook shot, so don't get the full duration stuns out, and that Sunder decides everything. Not only does he survive longer, he kills the IO, and that means Luna can't fight anymore. So this is just an easy double kill, and guess who's just having a field day? Toronto Tokyo is just killing him every once. He's auto-attacking all fight with Daedalus. That only ends one way.
Yeah, it really does. I haven't seen if he's been getting the Blood Rage in team fights as well, but obviously that's really sick for Alina, right? Spell Lamp and attack speed. Collapse. Uses his Rupture onto Xiaowei. Xiaowei not popping the roll up. Maeve just accepted death as it was. He didn't have a ton of LGD members around him. Another pick off for Team Spirit, and things are getting more and more dire for PSG.LGD as they're going to immediately go for a smoke after all. You just got to pick on the enemy mid hero. Roche is up. If they get another pick, that's a free Roshan for sure.
Oh, Faith Beyond. If there was a ward there, they would have pounced on that instantly, but they don't know he just crossed by. So they find nothing. Except the Roche.
Still a free Roshan and a shard.
Oh, wall.
Okay,
they're too late.
Throwing it down. Lion deals with it really well, though.
Who gets the shard? They're going to give it to Terrorblade for the Demon Zeal? They are. Okay.
Yeah. That's another thing that we don't see it very often, but it's another way that melee Terrorblade is just so much stronger than he used to be. Scotty being so good, so much movement speed being available, and then Demon Zeal. You know, there are just so many options for a melee Terrorblade.
It's going to go top and push this out. Do you think Yotaro plays such a good Terrorblade because he has the cat ears? Do you think he like identifies as the character? It's kind of like
absolutely.
He's got the horns. He even has the same color on it. Wait, no, that's just Demon Zeal making it blue like his hair, right? He's got like black and blue hair. He is literally Terrorblade. That's it.
No, I mean, if you couldn't tell by his name, Yotaro is definitely a bit of a weeb, and Terrorblade is very much an iconic anime villain. That's why they put him in the Netflix thing,
That's
right?
true.
So Yotaro just identifies with it through and through. Collapse, by the way, has level 20 and Aghanim Scepter. So now you're talking about a Bloodseeker who is going to be rupturing 2 people constantly because the cast range increase. It makes it so easy to use, so easy to start fights with as well.
That is really nasty. You're playing against both the Pango as well as Darkseer, and you rupture them both. Even the Luna, you just force her to stand her ground. I guess there's always going to be the relocate play, so that's at least something that LGD have to save them, but it's trouble.
Yeah. Satanic next for Yotaro. Again, just these general stat increases are scary for PSG.LGD, or struggling to be able to actually 100-0 Terrorblade without him casting anything. He gets a BKB off and a Satanic, and it's like he's got 3 or 4 lives in a team fight. So things are just getting harder and harder. You know, it's like very execution-based before in order to burst down this Terrorblade. Now it's becoming where execution may not even be good enough.
It is definitely a very, very strong lead. You still have this feeling that LGD can make this happen, but getting more and more confidence in Team Spirit by the minute, especially sitting with this Aegis on Lina about to hit level 25. That's a huge ramp up for her. Getting either the attack range or the Laguna cooldown. Probably going to go for the attack range and just keep playing from further away. And you've seen LGD put a lot of emphasis on stopping the Terrorblade, but honestly, I'm starting to wonder if that's the right target at this point. Like, do you swap your focus over to the Lina and try to just control Terrorblade instead of killing him? Because the amount of resources that it takes every time, Lina is undoubtedly a much easier kill. She's sitting at 13 armor instead of the 37 of Terrorblade, and any chain stun combo is going to work just as well on her, even though she has BKB, as long as you find the opening jump.
See if they can find that opening. Mira with the shard, which helps him in being able to deal with the Darkseer illusions, but he also got the 20 talent to restore some mana. So Toronto Tokyo, no lack of spell casting from him as they're going to go for the top lane. Here's the Rupture. They're going to go for the relocate out, but the Rod of Atos.
Oh, I think on the bash bottom. It's going to be a trade-off.
Pickup if they can actually kill Yutaro, but a BKB, and without the damage of Ame, it's going to be a hard slog fighting through this. A vacuum, miss Swashbuckle as a result, but I still have him pretty well surrounded. He has a Manta, but no way out of this one. So at least they get the trade-off into 1 for 2, but still carry for carry. Toronto Tokyo, though, is certainly still large and in charge. If the carries are missing, Toronto Tokyo is definitely the scariest player in this game.
Right, and it looked like what LGD were going for there was a split setup where they wanted to jump Terrorblade bottom as soon as they forced a rotation top and then maybe relocate out, but Team Spirit were just too fast.
Yeah,
buyback.
Collapse, both the Blood Right and the Rod of Atos. Nice vacuum, but
no
unfortunately, no wall and nothing else to follow it up. Xiaowei receiving in on the Rupture here. Toronto Tokyo thinking about going for that. Maybe a little bit too far. Turns around, kills Y pretty quickly. They're just going to hold for now. Rupture now placed on Faith Beyond. He does have a Laguna Blade. He's going to Laguna Blade himself to try and beat down this offlaner, and will manage to do so. Supernova just before he hits the cogs and well positioned to make sure that PSG.LGD are just in a losing position for this fight, just outside of their phone. Ame's back up in 5 seconds. Team Spirit got to make sure they don't overextend or overstay their welcome for too long. Looks like a full lane of barracks is pretty easy for them, though.
Damn, you weren't sure about that offlane Bloodseeker. I feel like he's just putting in so much work. Like the Rupture, just making things easy for the Lina, and you're definitely seeing the synergy. You even talked about the Blood Rage as well. Just allowing Toronto Tokyo to go to town. I love the fact that they had the confidence to give Xiaowei arguably his best here. Oh, hook shot. Good Hex.
Nice counter. The Force Staff gets him far enough away that it pulls Y into a more dangerous position. They quickly get that kill. Xiaowei with a buyback. Waiting. Okay, swashbuckling in. Yutaro's like, okay, we're going to take that. He pops the roll-up and does allow him to slide away from Yutaro. But a blood-raged Terrorblade who cannot be challenged is unfortunately too much for LGD as they start backing away farther and farther. Okay, he does have a BKB when it comes back down, but he didn't get it off fast enough. Toronto Tokyo, he's going to have to turn around with a Satanic, try and keep himself alive for the right-click damage of Ame, but the Glaives are bouncing, and they finish him off just enough. Team Spirit this time around. It was a couple of team fights inside of LGD's base, but the third one is the charm, it seems, for LGD to be able to push back the invaders.
All important detail there. Toronto Tokyo let his Fiery Soul stacks run out. So when they jumped him there, he had so little attack speed in his Satanic that he couldn't fight back. If he's maxed out stacked there, he doesn't die. And LGD get a really, really needed win out of this fight from that. No Aegis for them to claim at the very least for Team Spirit, but you're going to lose your tier 2 mid and probably get forced to buy back 1 if not 2 heroes, because you know how Luna gets if she gets that tower. You're losing the entire lane in the blink of an eye, so you have to defend now if you want to do it, or you just flat out do Rax trade, and all of a sudden LGD have a good shot at the game again if you let them have a full lane.
Yeah, can never count out LGD. Even with the coach that they have in Xiaowei playing that mid role.
Oh, it's too late to buy back
Team
now.
Spirits.
It's already gone.
Yes.
Indecisiveness.
You're totally right. They've got the Glaives bouncing. It's way too hard to fight this.
Honestly, this is even better for LGD than just getting the lane for free. They also just got gifted a buyback. Are they going to push for the base? They're going to force more buybacks. They want this Lina to buy out. They're going to get it.
Going to jump in. He's already gotten the Hex onto Ame. Why? Missing out on the hook shot. Immediate BKB activated, but a relocate away. They managed to get Ame just before the damage could rain in to finish him off. They're going to get the stragglers that are left behind by PSG.LGD. All right, sometimes the roll-up doesn't work so well.
You feel the pain in that roll. He's like trying to TP out while rolling away, and he's just taking an absolute beating from Lina as well as the Rupture. Xiaowei literally took 2.5k damage while TPing, just rolling away. Oh, I'm honestly shocked that LGD went for that. They're a very experienced team. That was super high risk. Obviously, the reward would be great if there were no buybacks on Spirit there, which might have been their read, really. You got the Lion buyback, but they didn't defend the barracks, and LGD are like, wait, do they actually even have the buybacks? And they go for the push, and they do get punished. But if Spirit don't end the game here and now, there's a huge moment of opportunity for LGD because there's no buyback on Lina and Bloodseeker, but this is a 5v3.
Team Spirit make that same read. They're going to go bypass the tier 3, go straight for the throat here. Faith Beyond just running a loop around his throne. These two have to create an opening for Ame to get in there and make use of this Divine Rapier he's picked up. Faith Beyond already dead, but he's going to buy back. The throne is dying fast. They need to get in there now. Yatoro is going to be able to finish up quickly. They get the initiation on the right-hand side while Ame is going for Yatoro, and he finished him off. He managed to get the kill onto both of them. The glaives are just doing too much damage. This Divine Rapier may have just surprised Team Spirit. And now they're going to go for a buyback, and immediately they are all in committed. Faith Beyond a die back there. Ame in some trouble. Toronto Tokyo laying in the damage with the Blood Rage. Lina is just doing too much. They does manage to get the goal on the Bloodseeker, but it's Toronto Tokyo who will finish out the game before LGD has a chance to defend. We are going to a game 3.
Wow, what an explosive finish that was. That looked really scary for Team Spirit at one point as well when they lost their Terrorblade and Phoenix right off the bat. But both of them have buybacks. There's the travels. He